Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. And we're into June, almost halfway through June, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, my kids have been off school for like 2 weeks now already.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I used to feel like summers were so long back when you're in school. And
Yeah.
now, I mean, it's really only like 10 weeks, right?
Right. Yeah, like
And
Sharon only gets 8 weeks off, I think. So
does she
that's
stay
right.
an extra week at the end of the year and she's
Only at the
back
beginning
a
of the
week
year.
early?
She's back like 10 days early, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, she's like 10 days less than the kids. So she starts to get sad like towards the middle of July.
Okay.
Her summer's almost over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you've never joined us before, guys, we do these lives to answer your questions. We really want it to be interactive. So down in the comments, post any questions you have about living anywhere in South Carolina. We'll try to answer them. If not, we'll make it up the answer. Most of the time, though, we let you know we're making it up, and then we'll find out the real answer if we don't know that answer. So definitely post in the comments. Also, do me a favor, let us know where you're joining from and what city and state and your names, because sometimes y'all have these crazy sign-on usernames and it's like XJ47330 says blah. I would really like to say your name. That would be great.
I feel weird when I'm like, Farfignugan Grooven. The answer to that is Four Seasons.
It's a little strange. Ken's on from Del Webb. What's up, Ken? How you guys doing? Hope you're doing well. John Kelly is on from future Del Webb, but right now he's in Columbia. So excited that we got them under contract. Good to see you guys. Logan, how do you say that last name, Jeff?
Lovely
is on. How are you? Val is on from Reading, Massachusetts, my old home state. I feel like since I've been here 25 years now, I can call South Carolina my home state. I don't have to say.
Feel like it's home?
Yeah, I feel like it's home now. What do you think?
I would say I feel like it's home. Yeah. I don't think of Pittsburgh as home anymore, and I'm here for 15 years now. I would be comfortable.
You call it home too? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Logan said they're closing on their house in Summerville on Friday. That is awesome. You'll be at home as well.
Right. Yeah. Now from Val from Reading. So there's a Reading, Pennsylvania also.
Yeah, she said Reading,
Monopoly. Isn't there a Reading Railroad in Monopoly? Am I thinking of that right?
Yeah, you're right. It's one of the four railroads.
That is a Massachusetts railroad or a Pennsylvania railroad that's in reference to.
Maybe it's both. Who knows?
I think I'm gonna have to figure that out, or I'm not gonna sleep tonight now.
Kathy is soon to be in Four Seasons from Cape Cod, Mass. Pretty close to where I used to live. I used to go swimming in Cape Cod, but even in June, Jeff, the Cape Cod water is freezing. Like I remember going up to visit, and the water is always cold. It's never warm, never in Cape Cod.
Well, the one summer that I was up, I went in the ocean. I don't know what ocean it was, or I know what ocean it was. I don't know what town it was when I was in Providence.
I don't know what ocean it was.
Yeah, it was the Pacific Ocean. And the water was cold. You can always tell here in Charleston and also in Myrtle who the Northerners are when you see them swimming here, like at the end of March.
Yeah.
Or kids. Kids don't care how cold the ocean is.
Abby was swimming in Myrtle Beach in like December 24th or something like that one day.
And they come out shivering.
Yeah.
All white. And
are you cold?
Like,
no,
they're shaking, they're stammering. Yeah. I'm not cold. Yeah.
Logan says originally from Connecticut. We have a ton of New England and a ton of Pittsburgh. We have a ton of people from up there.
I think I said this something today. I think Connecticut's going to be empty soon.
Right?
Because I feel like we're all moving to Summerville.
Here's another example. Heidi and Wes on every week from Connecticut. Tell us something new and exciting regarding Horizons. Love them both. Either Horizons. Love them both. So we do have some news on the Carnes Horizons. We'll get to that for sure.
Yep.
Val said yes. It's in Pennsylvania from the board game.
Good. I'm going to own it as a Pennsylvanian. Back in the day, I'm going to say the Reading Railroad is about Pennsylvania, not Massachusetts.
Yeah. Robert and Karen are on from New Jersey. They're closing on Monday.
Woo!
Yes. Liam says, "Hey, Margie. Yeah, the water is always cold here. It's crazy." Liam is my cousin. So he just got engaged. So congratulations, Liam and Victoria.
Congratulations, Liam.
That's awesome. Dave is on from Mansfield, Mass, right around the corner from me as well. I got a good Massachusetts crowd today. I feel good.
Yeah,
today.
I know. I'm feeling really left out here.
They're coming down soon too. I think pretty soon. Kathy sees sometimes years it gets to 70 to 72.
Oh, the water temperature.
That's sometimes. I agree with you, Kathy, but sometimes.
Okay, I don't know what water temperature is warm. I never really pay. Like, what do you keep your pool at?
Yeah, so I finally got my water heater fixed in the pool, Jeff, by the way, yesterday. So we set it to 82. My wife likes it at 80. I like it at 82. So I'm a little bit more of a wimp, I guess. But, yeah.
I've noticed sometimes, and now your pool has a chiller also.
Yes, because July and August,
pools can get so warm it's like sauna-like.
Yes, yeah. July and August are tough. So you got to put that chill back it down to 82.
I imagine that I'm now listen. This starts by saying that my wife pays the bills in the house, so I don't really have any earthly clue what our electric bill is. All I know is she tells me that she thinks it's better than it was in Pennsylvania. Anyway, that chiller and that heater in your pool, I'm guessing those are suckers of energy.
Yeah, because it's electric and not gas. Because if I were to do it gas, I would have had to run the gas all the way around the house. And that was like $3,000 or something silly like that. So we just rolled with electric. Now, even in the summertime, my whole house electric bill is like $2.25. I think it got up to $2.30 once. But in the winter, it's down all the way to like, I don't know, $110 or something like that.
Yeah, we pay in the summer because we like it. Although when I say I like it cool, what I like it cool is vastly different than what I wanted in Pennsylvania cool. Like we've been climatized. Like my house right now, I keep it 75 degrees. And in the bedroom, we lower it down to 68 overnight.
Yeah, we're at 70 overnight. But I want what you have. You have a separate zone just for your bedroom. So I got to get Blanton on the phone and get them over here to put that separate zone in.
Makes a big deal not having to refrigerate the whole first floor. We know the house came with 2 zones, as most homes do. Yeah. If it's got a second floor, most of the homes we sell, the newer stuff has a zone upstairs and a zone downstairs. Well, we got lucky. The motherboard, I'll call it, in the air conditioner in the attic had an extra space for a zone in it. So I didn't have to replace the electronics there. All I had to do was buy a damper system that opens and closes on that third section of the house. I forget what it cost at the time, but it was pretty easy to do. They were in and out in a day.
Yeah, I think mine has the extra space for a zone. So I think I'm good there. Hopefully, I'm lazy and I haven't called them.
You should get that done because you guys, I mean, you're going to be in that house for a while now that you got that backyard all set up like that.
Yeah, for sure. Pete is on. Pete and Denise, happy to be out of California. Future Four Seasons folks too. Pete, you guys should get you and Denise should get with Kathy. She's moving in soon too. Liam says, "Thank you. You're welcome, buddy. Can't wait to see your wedding." Paul and Karen are on from Boston.
All right, I'd have thought, but it just left me. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
It'll be back.
So they'll be here in Cane Bay as well. Their house is coming along very, very nice. Kathy says 86 is the perfect temperature for her. Yeah, I'm that 82, so we're not far off, Kathy, for sure. Rose and Joe are on from Rochester.
Hello, Rose.
Hope you guys are doing good. All right, we got a good question. What months of the year are the wettest? It's crazy. The week we move in, it's rainy till next week.
So this week has been, I actually shut my irrigation system off at my house last week because I saw when I was on the cruise how much rain was coming, and then we've had a decent amount of rain this week. I don't know that I remember this early summer being as wet as it has, this week as in the past. I think this is excessive. We will see a lot of Florida-style pop-up showers through the summer here in the mid-afternoon. You know how Florida gets those, that quick shower roll through thunderstorm. We will experience that quite a bit here in South Carolina. But, when we look at those times that we've had flooding, the big rain, the 25 inches of rain, and then back in 2008, I think it was in the fall also. It was like October, November. So that's when we've had the big rain. I was actually over at Del Webb today talking about flooding with some clients, and we were talking about how well they and it's not just Del Webb. It's really most of the builders here. They do such a great job at the swales. Yeah, I don't know what between the houses. It's like a little gutter in between the houses to flow water to the back of the property and then off to the side to get to the drains.
I like that because earlier in the day I was talking to Mike and he asked the same question. So he was trying to see if we had the same answer. So I'm glad we're on the same page there so we don't look like fools,
Right. Like we're actually do know something occasionally.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Sharon said, hi, Liam. So obviously that's my wife. All right. Kathy says, are there good wine clubs in the 55 places? Oh, cruise.
Which do you want me to talk about, wine or cruise? So let me start by saying I am not a wine connoisseur.
Yeah.
I don't like wine.
But in these 55 plus communities, there are bourbon clubs, wine clubs, whiskey clubs, you name it, it's there. And if it's not there, go ahead and start it because you'll probably have 20 or 30 people come to your club.
I like when the wine club meets beside the daily devotional club in the same room, and then they each try to convert each other over to the other side.
We were talking to those clients today, and they were saying, "No, we should have a Bible and bourbon club."
Genius,
right?
Genius.
Hey,
Jesus, drink him some wine. Scroll moment. All right, so let me talk about what I know about wine clubs.
All right.
I know more about the wine clubs at Four Seasons. I will tell you that I know that the Del Webb ones do exist. As do I assume most of the Crestwinds. It just seems like I just haven't actually seen it on the schedule. But I do know, like we've seen some pretty monster events over at the Four Seasons in that AstroTurf area right outside in between the building and the lake. There's been some pretty big events over there, but I know that Del Webb has that kind of stuff going down also, as well as Crestwinds. Horizons is just getting kicking. Their building isn't going to be done, but knowing the amount of clients that we've put in there and us knowing those clients, I'm sure there's a wine club coming if it isn't already open.
Yeah.
Do you like wine?
Yeah, I like red wine. I'm not a big white wine guy, but I like red wine every once in a while. I'm not like a everyday drinker or anything of the red wine, but I do like the flavor, like especially like a good pasta dish with a red wine, red sauce, red wine.
Yeah,
I could deal with that.
Andrea has a new thing that she's into right now. She's actually ordered it out a few times. Prosecco.
Yeah.
We were over at over at Lad's house, and he gave Andrea a bottle of Prosecco because she tried it there and really liked it. And she's had it a few times since then. And I've had a couple glasses. It's a bubbly Italian champagne-y kind of white wine kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, your wife has converted my wife too now. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
did
did Andrea share some with her on a Myrtle trip or something?
Yeah, on our last Myrtle trip, and then we bought one bottle since then, I think, or we had it out somewhere or something like that.
You know, I never really liked wine, and from what my friends that drink wine tell me is that, you know, you can get some decent wines that are not expensive. Like there's decent stuff out there for $10, $12, $14 a bottle. But I was in a meeting down in Buckhead, Georgia, and the guy that was organizing the meeting ordered wine for the table, and I tried it and I liked it. So I had a few glasses. It was one of them 5-hour dinner meeting kind of things, you know?
Yeah.
And so there was like 14 of us there, and when it was all done, we had gone through 12 bottles of wine over the course of this dinner. And so I asked him, I said, what is this wine? Because I actually liked it. I want to be able to buy it when I get home and have Andrew try it. And he told me, and then I said, you know, I hate to be rude, but I don't know what wine costs. You know, how much was this wine? And he's like, it's not bad. That's why I like it. It was only $400 a bottle. I'm like, wait a second. We just drank like $5,000 worth of wine at this dinner. Are you insane? His version of not that bad and my version of not that bad are two vastly different things.
Yeah. Not really relative, right?
So it's not that I don't like wine. Apparently, I like really, really expensive wine.
Well, I can see that. You're an expensive, kind of tasteful guy. So
I am not No, I'm not.
You like your stuff. You like your stuff.
I got my pink Dickies barbecue cup on me right now. I ain't fancy.
All right. Kathy said, are there any group cruises in the area? I feel like we can make that one up right now. I mean,
how fun would that be?
Right? A group cruise, live in Carolina cruise?
Yeah. Now you're talking.
You got to think about that.
So
we could probably write it off because we'd be working.
Yeah. I love everything about this.
But no,
there was a cruise ship here based out of Charleston until last year. Carnival, Sunshine, Sunrise, Sunshine, something like that was here. We took one just because it was out of Charleston. It was super easy. And some of the environmentalists and the old school Charlestonians threw a big hissy fit about the cruise ship being in port here in Charleston. And so they kicked it out. And so it's up in Newport News, Virginia now, I think.
Wait, I thought they did that because of the rebuild of the port area. Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think you're wrong. Now they are going to do something with that space, and I haven't heard what it's going to be now. But there is still a port here for cruise ships to come into because we are a destination. A lot of the New England cruises that when they work their way down to the Caribbean, they will make a stop in Charleston. So Charleston's allowed to have X number of cruise ships in per year. And then the other thing that we do see here in Charleston is some of these. Have you seen these cruise ships that people like live on, like they buy? Yeah. Like there's one called the World, I think it is. And then there's a new one that just recently, I watched a bunch of YouTubers that live on this thing. It hasn't been at Charleston yet, but I've seen the World cruise here several times.
Is that a certain cruise line? Is it Royal or?
No, it's its own entity. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What percentage of homes bought in Zone AE versus X? What are the percentage of homes? Wondering how much Zone AE is costing a month too. Thanks, guys. Love watching your YouTube. Thank you. We appreciate that. So
yeah. So go ahead. Nope. I'm shutting up.
All right. AE versus X. It to me, you correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, but to me, it has everything about living east of 17 versus living west of 17 in most cases. East of 17 is going to be almost all AE or higher. And X should be most other places. Now, there are X in other, like here in Cane Bay, there is some AE flood zones because they're close to water drainage and creeks and things like that. Or along the rivers, you're going to see AE. So the Edisto River, the Ashley River, those things. So I would say there's more, like Berkeley, Dorchester County, there's more X than there is AE. Charleston County is probably the reverse of that. Do you agree with that, Joe?
Yeah, and what's important to know is for our clients, I would say 99% of our clients are buying in an X flood zone.
Yeah.
So an X flood zone is still a flood zone. This is the low country. But what X means is you do not have to have insurance on your house if you live in an X flood zone. And we also, most of the builders of these neighborhoods, if there's any way so that they can raise the level of the land to get out of an AE and into an X, they will do so, because they're really going to have trouble selling those houses.
Mm-hmm.
Because the flood, the maps got redone several years ago, and a lot of places that didn't used to be in flood zones turned into flood zones. So there were some people that used to have and be in an X flood zone, and now all of a sudden they have to have flood insurance on their house because they got redistricted. We have not seen, nor do we expect to see that in the Cane Bays, the Nextons, the Carnes, the Summers Corner, those kind of things. Mark, you mentioned that there's the AE in Cane Bay. I would guess don't you think it's less than 20 homes?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And so like all of my neighborhood, and here's the other thing is, as realtors, like, listen, we suggest that you have flood insurance on your house. But that being said, hear me when I say this, I live in Carnes and I do not have flood insurance on my house. Yeah. Mark lives in Cane Bay. He does not have flood insurance on his house.
So this little marker right here is Four Seasons. Okay. And I turned the flood map property on, and you can see, along this river, whatever it is, I'm assuming it's the Ashley River, but it doesn't say. Or maybe that's that river that comes up here to the Lake Moultrie. I forget the name of it. Wabu or something like that. So, in these areas, it's AE. So this is around Lake Moultrie. This is around the big lake in the back. But there's not many houses in these places because it's just so close to the actual waterway and whatnot. It looks like there's a little spot over here in Berkeley Country Club in Monk's Corner. But then you come down here and there's these little branches. But again, most of the developments are in these white areas.
Yeah, the builders just aren't going to build on those lots. There's a lot of wetlands. There's a lot of wetlands through Cane Bay. There's lots of areas in Cane Bay that they will never build on because, number one, they're wetlands, and it would be extremely costly to do that. It would have to be built in a flood zone, which nobody's really going to buy. Mm-hmm. And there's just so much other land that's available. They wouldn't ever pick that. But a lot of it is preserves that they're not allowed to build on, even if they wanted to. It can never be built on.
Yeah. He also asked about the cost. So, I mean, that really just ranges really widely. Like, if you're down in Mount Pleasant, I've seen $7,000 a year. But if you're in an X flood zone and you ask for flood insurance, it might only be a couple $100 a year.
Yeah, we just talked to Christy about this recently. Christy was our insurance person. She was on here about a month or 6 weeks ago, and we'll have her on again because we filled that hour super fast. Yeah, lots of great questions. I feel like, as an example, if my house, if I wanted to put flood insurance on my house, it would be in the $400 to $500 a year range. I do have clients that we sold a house to over around Kings Grant, over by the river over there, and theirs was $2,700 a year. Okay. As you get closer down to the ocean and to some of the swamps and the wetlands and all that, that's when you can start to see the $6,000-7,000 a year possible.
And didn't we sell one over there in Hanahan on the Goose Creek Reservoir, and they needed flood insurance, and that was a couple grand, right?
Yeah, it was like $2,100.
Yeah. All right. Tabitha Cantrell. Hey, Mark, my high school friend. I remember Tabitha. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better, Tabitha, too. So proud of you. We will be reaching out before long for real estate assistance. Yes, call, text, email, anytime we can help.
And Tabitha, if you have any potentially embarrassing stories about Mark back in the day, I'd be happy to take those.
I got to find
Please bring those with you.
All right. Logan, have you guys tried the Okra Grill food place by Azalea Square? I heard it's good. I don't think I've been there yet. Have you?
I haven't, no.
I know they have an Okra Grill downtown, right?
Yeah.
Downtown Charleston.
Yep.
I don't think I've tried the Okra Grill up here yet.
Wait, so
I got to look it up.
So there's Page's Okra Grill in Nexton.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Logan, is that what you're talking about? It's in Nexton, not Azalea.
Yeah, we go there all the time. We went there for your birthday.
Yeah, we have been there. I liked it. They have I really like. They've got a big outside, well-covered seating area, and also a really nice bar outside and inside. It's a big place.
That outdoor seating was nice, as long as it wasn't August.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was even raining that day, and we were outside.
I love sitting outside in the rain.
Yeah.
I haven't been over there when it's been hot out, but I bet you they've got fans and stuff underneath that covered in area, maybe even misters.
Actually, while we were there, a guy came up and came to our table and was a YouTube watcher and said, "We watch you guys all the time," and said, "Happy birthday to you." Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Kathy said, "Bourbon drinkers should also like red wine. Bourbon Club sounds good too." Yeah. You're going to have that at Four Seasons, Kathy, for sure.
I don't. Okay, so I'm not educated. Is bourbon whiskey? Is all whiskey bourbon? I don't even know what the difference.
Bourbon is a type of whiskey, right?
I don't know. I'm so boring when it comes to alcohol.
Yeah, we don't drink a lot.
No.
All right, bourbon is a type of American whiskey with specific guidelines for production. To be called bourbon, it must be made in the United States, contain at least 51% corn in its mash bill, be distilled to no more than 160 proof or 80% alcohol by volume, aged in new charred oak barrels, and bottled at no less than 80 proof.
Okay. And I think maybe it has to be from Kentucky also.
No, it just said it has to be made in the United States.
In the United States, okay. Maybe Kentucky is where a lot of it is made.
Yeah. Kentucky is very popular for it. Yeah.
How'd we get onto alcohol this evening?
Because Kathy was asking about wine clubs.
Oh, okay. That's all Kathy's
fault. Jackie, what's up, Jackie?
Hey, Jackie.
And she says yes, a group cruise as well.
Yeah,
we might be on to something there.
Yeah, we do some events here. Occasionally for clients. We've rented whole movie theaters every year at Christmas to watch Elf. We've rented axe throwing bars. We've rented the Charleston. I mean, we did a group cruise once that won the Charleston Princess. It was just out and around Charleston Harbor and back, but saw some dolphins and had a really good time with people. So maybe we'll do that again. We'll start there. But that was a tough. They
event.
do group cruises like this.
Yeah, that was a tough event to schedule because of all the weather. Remember, we had to cancel it twice, and that was a little ugly.
Yeah, that was painful.
Yeah. All right. Valerie says, "Are there any restrictions on landscaping? Can you plant a small vegetable garden in your yard?"
Very dependent on neighborhood, I would say.
But in your backyard, if you have a fenced-in backyard, I feel like that's a ask for forgiveness, and you're not going to have an issue with that because it's not in the front of everybody or in the front of your house. Four Seasons, you might want to still ask. Del Webb, you might want to still ask. They actually have a garden box area for as an amenity where you can, use some of the space and plant your own stuff over in the actual garden amenity.
Carnes has one of those too, a little garden club area. But now that we've got the whole freaking farm here, I mean, we've got a legit farm here in the neighborhood now.
Yeah, that's legit.
They got a John Deere tractor. They got a farmer. Yeah. We employ a farmer now.
All right, Jimmy G in the Carolinas, the Charlotte life. Listen to you guys on the One podcast on my way home from work today. I'm with True Homes in South Carolina outside of Charlotte. Would love to talk to you guys offline. Yeah, Jimmy, we'd love to talk to you. We work with True Homes all the time. It's so cool that you watched the One podcast. We that just aired last week, I think. We had a good time on that.
It was our first invitation to be on a podcast.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was fun. I feel like we didn't misbehave really at all. I feel like we, the filters worked when they needed to.
And I'm super proud of you because you let me talk more than normal. Like you like to talk, and I'm okay with that. And you let me talk more than normal on that one.
Well, so I did, but a lot of the questions were like numbers related.
Yeah.
And so I would have just been making it up. Yeah, Jimmy, Jeff at charlestonarealiving.com. Jeff at charlestonarealiving.com. Throw me an email.
Yeah, we would love talking. Tabitha, nope, let me skip that one.
Tabitha, thank you.
Tabitha said Pages is amazing. Yes, I love Pages. Logan said, yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, cool. From Kentucky. So maybe you're right. It said in the AI overview here, it says United States.
Kathy and I might be smarter than AI.
Most Kentucky, Indiana has some. Okay, how did she know all this stuff about alcohol?
I'm worried we're going to have an intervention. Kathy, we brought you here tonight because we love you and we care about you.
Have you guys gone to the Nexton Nights in Nexton Square? I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of my events I was going to talk about tonight.
Shut up. Would Logan segue perfect for you?
He gave me a perfect segue. He's going to have to work with us, I think. Okay, let me share. So the top one, Nexton Nights, is back. Join us Friday, June 6th. Well, it's every Friday, I think. Nexton Square for a doubleheader concert. So that was last week, but they have a concert every week. And so I drove through it once. We didn't stop because we didn't have time last year. But I've heard from several people, it's a great time to meet all your neighbors in Nexton and from around the area. It's not just people from Nexton. All kinds of people come and hang out and visit all the shops in Nexton Square and, have a few drinks and listen to some music and stuff.
I've seen it kicking before, just like you said, just driving through. Mark and I have typically a fairly early bedtime.
Yes.
And so we're normally not in Nexton after the sun goes down, but it's a great event. Lots of great music, everybody getting together, kids playing around. It's a fun time.
Yeah. We might as well talk about the other one while we're here. So in your neighborhood, Jeff, they have a farmer's market at Carnes Crossroad held on the fourth Friday of each month, April through September from 5 to 8. Enjoy 50-plus vendors, variety of local handcraft goods, fresh produce, baked goods, art, so much more. Healthy living at Carnes is a cornerstone of life. Please join us.
So this is going to be different now because, before the amenity center opened in Carnes here, it was over by the original pool. So when you pull in that first entrance to Carnes by the water fountain, they would shut down those two streets, and then it would be vendors all along the streets, and it would be in the field there by the fountain. They would have a bunch of vendors, and they'd have a band, and they have a petting zoo. I know that if Andrea catches that the farmers market is open and we're not doing anything that day, we're going to the petting zoo so she can go Seagull bunnies, and I don't know whatever else they have there. But now that they have the new farm, the farmers market is actually going to be at the farm.
So is that true? Because the address still said the old address and everything on all the future events.
I'll find out.
Okay.
And if it is at the farm, I will go get. I'll go get video.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So Jackie said, my mom is here visiting and loves it. Oh, good. That's awesome. Lance said, do they have one this week? I don't remember what that was for. 7:33. That was only 2 minutes ago. So that might have been the Nexton nights he was talking about.
I think it's every Friday, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's every Friday.
Yeah, it goes now for a couple months now through the summer.
Yep. Logan said, also, how is the 4th of July in Nexton? I have a dog who is afraid of fireworks. So I feel like Nexton is going to be somewhat similar to Cane Bay. I haven't been through there on 4th of July. A lot of people put off their own fireworks. So yeah, you're going to hear fireworks.
Logan, it ain't going to be good.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to say it's not going to be good.
I don't think they have a big firework event that I've seen yet, but
no, man. But some of these hillbillies spend a month's paychecks on these fireworks. Like I didn't have to leave my neighborhood last year. What the neighbors put off was phenomenal.
And I feel like it goes on several days. It's not just the 4th.
Yeah.
It's second, third, like depending on if it's on a weekend or whatever. It'll be, through that whole weekend, sometimes the weekend before. So that might be a down for the dog.
My poor black lab. Black labs are hunting dogs. You would think a lab wouldn't be afraid of, having shotguns go off and stuff. But my lab I had was just terrified. He would just lay and drool and drool and drool. We tried to medicate him. We bought him something called a thunder shirt. That you know how when you like swaddle a baby and you bind them all up and it gives them a sense of comfort. We bought him a thunder shirt. He ripped that sucker off and ate it. That's what an idiot he was. Oh, yeah.
I bet you that was fun to deal with.
My dog was terrified.
Lance said, when is the Jeff Carnes water slide video?
Yes. We can take that down.
It won't come down, Jeff. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, remove that comment. I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do. I don't know if I'm going down that beast. But, Mark, don't we have a camera now that we could send Riley down the water slide and get a good view going down the slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them cameras we have is waterproof. I'll have the kiddos go down.
Even though you told me we couldn't do that.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't think I can go down. I'm scared.
So in case you guys haven't seen, this is the new amenities over at Carnes. This is probably one of the biggest pools in all of South Carolina, for sure. And it's got that huge water slide. Jeff, how many steps was it? 43 steps to get up there, I think it was?
Yeah, we ran that thing the other day. Here's my concern. Gravity is going to bring you down that slide. Now, I don't know a whole lot about physics, but let's just say that you were to put, a 5-pound kid in that thing and send him down versus a 10-pound kid. I think the 10-pound kid is going to get down that slide faster. Well, now you put me in that thing, and I'm going to go skipping across the water when I get down there. I'm afraid I'm going to break a speed limit going down this thing, so we'll send my kid down in
it. You and I might go down the slide and come out over here out of this pool into the other pool. I could see that happening for one of us.
I could see us going on this thing and landing in Nexton.
Yeah. Hey, Nexton is supposed to connect to Carnes at some point here in the future.
I keep hearing about that. I don't know. It would be nice. It's kind of when I go over to see my parents at Del Webb, I kind of have to take the long way around to get there. It would be nice because as the crow flies,
it's probably 3 miles, right?
I mean, to get to touch Nexton dirt, I bet you it's 500.
No, I mean to your mom and dad's house.
But to Del Webb, yeah.
Crazy. Jackie said, "I'll do the water slide." You'll have to invite Jackie over.
All right, that'll work.
Lance said, "Nice segue." Thanks, Lance. All right, I think that's all the questions so far. Keep posting the questions. We'd rather do this all night long and answer your questions than provide.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I heard a pretty substantial rumor of a Walmart coming to Cane Bay.
yes.
What do you know?
I don't know exactly if it's past or whatever, but let me pull up the map and zoom in a little bit. All right, so where are we? There we are. Okay. Here we go. All right, so this right here, this is the Chick-fil-A in downtown Cane Bay.
Okay.
I call it downtown Cane Bay. There's the Starbucks, the Publix right here, the schools. Here's the high school. This is into the Nexton North Creek Drive area. So this is the main entrance of Cane Bay. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This is the Nexton extension, the other way into Cane Bay. Here's the big rotary. The Walmart, from what I understand, is supposed to be right in this area.
Okay, so basically halfway between Cane Bay and your church, probably.
Yes, exactly. Because here's Providence Church right here. And then here's where the Walmart's going to be. And then this is the first entrance into Cane Bay.
So that new entrance, a lot of people probably don't know about that yet. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so this one has been here for a couple years now. So this is the Nexton extension. That is segue number 2 into it. But the new one, which hasn't opened yet because they're paving all this State Road Highway 176, it's going from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. So they haven't opened those other 4 lanes yet because they're still working on curbing and sidewalks and all of that stuff. But this right here is going to be the new entrance, Fairwinds Boulevard. And you come up there, and this is Pine Hills. This is the last neighborhood in Cane Bay. So before, you used to have to go all the way down Fairwinds from here all the way to this rotary and then take Cane Bay Boulevard all the way up to get out of Cane Bay, or you go out the back entrance, and this is Black Tom Road here.
Yeah.
So now you'll be able to come right in this Fairwinds Boulevard, Fairwinds Boulevard, and come right in there. So all these people that live in the back that want to get out to 176 will soon be going out this exit here, which will relieve a lot of traffic towards the front of the neighborhood as well.
So
since I have the map open, there's also going to be a new Dreamfinders neighborhood right here called Wildcat Chase, I think it's called. So that will be opening up pretty soon. I saw the sign go up there. So that will be a new, just like Tidewater, I believe. We'll have to see kind of what type of homes. And then all the way back up here at the front, there is right here next to the Nexton Exchange. All of this area towards the front is going to be Stanley Martin Townhomes. And then Lindera is completing right into this area here. So
if I'm
still
at
lots of new
Summerwind,
I'm sorry?
if I'm at Summerwind or Tidewater, do you think it's and I want to leave the neighborhood? It's going to be quicker to go out that new way than it is to go all the way through Cane Bay.
If you're going to 176, yes, absolutely.
If you're going to Publix, it might be about the same.
Yes, yeah, I think so. But now that is until they develop all this lake stuff.
Yeah.
Because all this lake stuff here, so here's the big lake. All this area is going to open up all the way to 17. So here's the rotary or roundabout by Summerwind. I feel like there's going to be a new road that goes right along the back of Four Seasons. And then there will be a new road, I believe, that is going to come straight out, maybe go around this lake, straight out to Highway 17 here, which will bring you up to Monk's Corner or bring you down to your neighborhood.
Yeah. So the end result is, 5, 6, 7 ways in and out of Cane Bay.
Yes. Yeah. The people that moved here in the beginning had a legit, issue with if there was a mandatory evacuation, which we never get anyways. One way in, one way out. That is not a legit excuse anymore here for sure.
And those people that complain about traffic around Cane Bay, they have a legit concern with 176. Because you can absolutely get tied up coming from my house to Mark's house. One time it took me like 30 minutes to get from my house in Carnes to Mark's house in Cane Bay. But that 176 is going from 2 lanes to 4 lanes, and it's getting really close to being done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a huge improvement.
Huge. All right. Logan said, do you think traffic in Nexton will improve? I do. So on the docket anyways, 2027, I believe it is, they're supposed to make Nexton Parkway a 4-lane.
I think they done screwed that up in the first place. It just should have been 4 from the beginning. With what they knew was coming.
Yeah.
Now it is better than it was before, even 6 months ago, with the addition of some red lights.
Yes.
And there's more red lights coming, which will greatly improve the flow. Because if you're in Nexton right now, let's say you're in Midtown and you want to get to the pickle bar to go play pickleball or have an adult beverage or go grocery shopping at Harris Teeter Publix, at the wrong time of day, man, it sucks to turn left onto Nexton Parkway.
Yeah. Yeah. Robin experienced that with some clients. And they did not like how long you had to wait to take a left there. And that's where it's going to have a red light there.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact date, but I believe that's around 2026, 2027 too.
But the red light that they put in at the road that comes across Cane Bay made a big difference.
North Creek. Yeah.
North Creek.
There was a lot of, I think they upped that one, to be honest, because there was a lot of accidents there.
I've turned right and gone down and turned around and come back a few times trying to get left out of Nexton.
Yeah, no, that was probably a smart move. All right. How is the car scene around there? Classics, JDM, etc. I've got a couple to bring down when I move. Beth.
Yeah, I'm not in that world, so I don't know much about it. I will say I've seen plenty of car cruises organized at businesses around. Even in my neighborhood here in Carnes, there is a Cup of Man, a coffee shop, and I was over there. My buddy has an old Scout that he redid, and so he goes out and he goes to some of those things. But there was a bunch of guys that had their stuff out at that just here in Carnes. At Carnes Crossroads at the coffee shop one Saturday morning. I don't know if it was an organized thing or just a bunch of people saying, hey, let's get together.
I know Cane Bay Choirs at the Cane Bay High School does a yearly car show as a fundraiser for the choir department, and they fill up that high school parking lot. I know that.
You know our listing that we have coming in Ladson that I did video for today, Mark?
Yes.
He's got a class. Did you see it?
All right, that's all right.
Yeah, he's got a classic in his garage. Our photographer Jerry, I needed to get him refocused on what he was there to do today because as soon as we saw that car, we were enthralled.
Yeah, Steve Bizier, who does all of our clients' electric fireplaces and shelving and built-ins and all that kind of stuff. He's amazing, by the way. So if you need something like that, let us know. We'll get you in contact with him. Actually, he's doing one of our clients today over in Tidewater. He's painting their whole house, pretty much the interior, and then putting in one of those fireplaces. He's got a Mustang and something else that's from the 50s or 60s.
And I believe that in the 55s, there are groups in most of the 55s with classic cars.
Yeah.
I one time, so I had that 1994 Geo Tracker which was technically old enough to have an antique plate. And I thought about taking it to a car cruise one time, and Andrew's like, "No, you're just trying to be funny. You're going to embarrass yourself. Just don't go do that."
Lance said, "Will it be golf cartable?" Do you remember what that was for?
I don't.
Okay, Lance, give us more info. Okay, we did that one. Did I skip one? No. Okay.
Yeah, Pete had a question. Yeah,
Pete, do you think they will put a cart path to the new Walmart? Let me think about that. So
I guess no.
They've already put the sidewalk in going down 176, but I don't think it's as wide as some of the cart paths that are in Cane Bay. You can get all the way to 176 via the cart paths through Nexton Extension. You could go almost all the way to 176, take a right into the new Stanley Martin. That'll bring you out to Fairwinds Boulevard, and I can almost guarantee there'll be an entrance exit to Walmart from Fairwinds Boulevard. So, yes, I think you can do it.
So we will be doing a golf cart video going to Walmart from Cane Bay, is what I'm hearing.
From Four Seasons, so that
from Four Seasons. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thoughts on SC license plates? They look very cool. So excited to be a South Carolina. They have several different ones, right, Jeff?
Oh yeah, you could do. There's the In God We Trust one. There's this regular South Carolina one that has the palm tree on it. It's beautiful. I love it. I just love everything palm trees. And then all the, they've got tons of license plates that you could do to support different charities. So I don't know, Society for Kids That Have Never Tried a Lollipop Association, you can get their license plate, and I made that up. But but I love the regular South Carolina license plate with the palm tree.
Yeah, I like the MUSC one too, just to support, the children's hospital.
Yeah, I like that, MUSC.
Yeah. I love all the questions from Logan tonight. Thanks. Speaking of Nexton Parkway, does that get super busy? I'll let you answer this because you go to your mom and dad so much.
Yeah, it does. A couple times a day. Regular rush hour stuff. It never gets to be like at a standstill. It just slows down. There's times when it's just really difficult to make a left out of it, depending on where you're going at certain times. Like we talked about at Midtown, making a left out of there stinks because there's no red light there yet, but it's coming. I'm hopeful that one would be coming to Del Webb, because it stinks to turn left out of Del Webb to go over towards Cane Bay at the wrong time of day. I've turned right before and just gone back down to the light and circled back. But Nexton Parkway doesn't get too, 5 o'clock heading from 26 towards Cane Bay gets backed up for sure, but not bonkers.
All right. So I've got a little bone to pick on that. People, the only reason it gets backed up is because people don't know the alternate goes from 2 lanes
when it goes 2 to 1. They're not zippering.
And they're not zippering in. They're not being nice all the time. Like the left lane thinks, oh, I've been in this left lane for so long. No, Mr. Right lane person, you can't get in. Well, they're supposed to zipper in, like you said. It's not that hard. Be nice. Be nice.
So you're saying that Southern Hospitality might potentially go out the door after you pass Harris Teeter in Nexton Parkway.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
All right.
At least it wasn't a Yugo. I don't know.
I had a friend that had let's talk about my geo-tracker. My friend's mother, Mike, I went to high school with him. All she wanted was a Yugo. I bet there's a lot of people don't even remember what a Yugo was.
Yeah. Logan, since we're moving in on Friday to our new house in Summerville, does it take a while for Wi-Fi to be set up? Yeah, order that now. And just tell them you want it, the afternoon of you move in or the next day, because they are, last I looked, they were about 10 days 10 to 15 days in order to get somebody out there. So I would go ahead and order that now. If they ask for like proof of residence, because we have heard that lately from some of our clients, you should be able to send them the first page of the contract since you don't have your settlement statement yet in order to show proof of residence.
Now that's with Home Telecom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard. Now I had somebody recently that had to wait 4 or 5 days, so it wasn't 10 or 15. But I will say that once we have now, listen, none of this stuff is cheap. Wi-Fi, the service, it's stupid expensive all over the country. It shouldn't cost what it does.
So get this, Riley, ordered it for his house because he just closed last week on his townhouse. I pay like $125 for a gig. They have some sort of special going on right now for like $65.
Really?
Yeah, for 1 gig.
Home Telecom has been really good service.
Yeah.
It's been the most impressive internet company I've ever dealt with. I've had a bunch over the years, and I love that they've got people that live here in this town that you can actually talk to. You can actually go walk through the door right at the corner of catty corner from Publix across from Harris Teeter and Nexton. They actually have an office there.
Yeah. Lance said Walmart. Will it be golf cartable to Walmart? Yeah, I think we just talked about that.
Yeah,
with Pete's answer. Pete said, I have to imagine they will put a light at the new middle school on Nexton Park. Yeah, that's exactly where it's going.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will be when that place opens. It would be smart of them to do that. But right there at Midtown Parkway or whatever it's called, that's where they're supposed to be putting that light for sure. Ken said, you are so right, Mark, about Nexton Parkway. Yeah, they just got a zipper, right, Ken? I mean, it's not that hard. But
I know, but listen, I'm a nice guy. I feel a little bad being in that right lane going all the way up. I know I'm supposed to.
Yes.
But I still feel bad about it.
Yeah, but if not, it's going to be backed up all the way to Highway 26.
I know I'm wrong.
Yeah. All right, cool. We're caught up on comments. Wow, we're already at 58 minutes, Jeff.
All right, can we play the game real quick?
Yeah, let's play the game.
Let's just play the game and then we'll be done. Because I'm feeling strong tonight.
All right, let me find the question. All right, well, let me give you a little background first. So, total of 292 homes went under contract last week. Of those 292, the 235 of them were single-family homes. So that's 30 up from last week. But overall, there was like mediocre buying activity. So out of that 235, our game is how many single-family homes that went under contract out of the 235 last week were over $1 million. So if you guys could start posting your answers. While you do that, I'll answer this other question. Do we know when the MUSC hospital is coming in Summerville? I heard that they're supposed to start it by the end of this year and maybe be done by 2028, Logan. That could be totally wrong. That's just what somebody told me.
I think they're prepping the site now. I mean, I feel like they're moving dirt.
No, there's still trees up and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we started to get some answers. Pete says 40. Valerie went low at 23. Logan says 52. Kathy says 35. Jeff, what's your answer? Jeff said 55.
I'm going big this week.
Whoa. Rose says 45. Don't you be crossing that out and changing it to 45. Ken says 43. Anybody else?
I'm gonna stick. I think Rose is low this week. I'm gonna go with. I'm staying with my 55.
You're staying with your 55.
Uh-huh.
All right. Any others? You going once? You going twice? The correct answer: 42 homes over 1 million.
Ken is all over it.
Right? He was 43.
Pete was close.
Who was close? 40.
Rose? Pete had 40.
Pete had 40. Rose had 45. Yeah, those are the closest, I think.
All right, so I was way off.
Yeah.
I was so good at this when you started this game. And I have not been even close for like months now.
Well, it's okay. You make it up in all of your knowledge about everything else.
All right. I'll take the win.
Yeah. All right. So we are over our hour. We can go longer if anybody has any last minute questions. But at the end of this, we'll have a little video that pops up thanking everybody for watching. There's a QR code on that. Scan that. We would love to have a Zoom call with you and just talk about any questions you have about living in South Carolina, anywhere in the state. We pretty much cover the whole state. If not, we have contacts that we can get you in touch with. Just because we love South Carolina so much, we want to kind of be all over. We were up in Myrtle Beach yesterday, and we got 3 videos done for our Live in Carolina YouTube channel. So we have 2 YouTube channels. One is Charleston Area Living, which kind of does the 3-4 counties around Charleston. And then we have a separate channel that kind of does the rest of the state. We've got a little bit of Bluffton on that channel. We've got lots of Greenville and Spartanburg now. And we're loading it up with Myrtle Beach too. So we look forward to helping you anywhere in the state. Do you have any last minute words before we go?
We didn't get to talk about Carnes Horizons. I apologize for running out of time, but I will tell you that we'll be much better informed next Tuesday. We've got some meetings at the end of this week to find out more information. So, Mark, let's just plan on being ready to throw some video and talk more about Carnes Horizons next week.
Yeah, that's a great thought. And then the other thing is if you guys, anybody on this is interested in 4 seasons in the new phase 9 and 10, we have started to get information about that. So we can release that in one-off, and we might even, next week or the week after go over some more of those floor plans and elevations. We've started to get that stuff. So we want to be able to get you the best lots in there. And a lot of the lots along the woods that is protected wetlands are going to be single-family homes. So if you're waiting to get into there, definitely let us know. There are still some spec homes for phase 8, like a Killarney loft popped in there today or over the last couple of days. There's an Athens loft that's available, and then there's a couple Mount Blanc lofts. So definitely, let us know. Logan said, any more golf cart tours in Nexton?
Haven't done any recently. I guess we're probably due to do some this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Can we do those in the morning, though? Because it's going to be hot.
Yeah,
in the afternoon.
I encourage that. We can do it early in the morning.
Okay, good deal. Well, thank you so much for inviting us into your living rooms, on your TVs, on your tablets, and on your phones. We appreciate you kind of hanging with us and asking all these questions. We really appreciate it. And until next week, we appreciate it, and we'll see you then.